Hi, my name is Michael, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, this is election season. It is time for Americans to choose a favorite candidate that they feel that is smart enough to run this nation, a president that has common sense to govern the world and to secure the safety of America. Do you have a favorite candidate you want to govern the nation? Well, before you all make a choice before November or by November, there are some things that you all may want to consider. First, we must consider some of the issues that are facing our nation. The United States is considered the richest country in the world, and yet 37.9 million residents live in poverty. Poverty is measured in two ways: absolute poverty and relative poverty. Absolute poverty looks at the goods and services someone cannot obtain. How many homeless people are in America in 2024? In the United States, there are over 500,000 people living in poverty. Their living conditions consist of transitional housing or tents or abandoned buildings. In 100 days, we will be electing a political candidate for president. When I make a selection or a vote on a specific candidate for president, I look at homelessness. I look at the stats, the homeless stats, the crime stats, and tax hikes. In accordance to World Population Review, poverty rate by state in 2024, California has 4,733,036 people in poverty. Texas, 4,122,538. Florida, 2,805,433. New York, 2,688,587. Ohio, 1,536,524. Pennsylvania, 1,519,032. Illinois, 1,498,523. Georgia, 1,476,348. North Carolina, 1,378,621 people in poverty. Michigan, 1,286,329. New Jersey, 930,602. Tennessee, 927,587. Arizona, 908,961. Louisiana, 883,236 people in poverty. Virginia, 854,145. Indiana, 803,021 people in poverty. Alabama, 794,326, although I think it's a little higher. Missouri, 761,311. Washington, 754,315. South Carolina, 741,652 people in poverty. Kentucky, 721,878. Michigan, 700,138. Wisconsin, 621,125. Maryland, 618,372. Oklahoma, 606,782 people in poverty. Mississippi, 554,152. Colorado, 553,272 people in poverty. Minnesota, 519,731 people. Oregon, 507,829. Arkansas, 480,153 people in poverty. Nevada, 437,385 people live below the poverty line. New Mexico, 382,798. Connecticut, 354,166 people in poverty. Iowa, 344,996. Kansas, 333,518. West Virginia, 291,930. Utah, 281,673 people living below the poverty line. Nebraska, 205,852. Idaho, 205,702. Hawaii, 156,735. Maine, 154,117 people in poverty. Montana, 120,123. Montana. Rhode Island, 120,055. Delaware, 113,450 people living below the poverty line. South Dakota, 106,548. District of Columbia, 105,007. New Hampshire, 97,403. North Dakota, 83,350. Alaska, 75,165 people in poverty. Alaska, 75,165. I think I just said that already. Wyoming, 604,224 people living below the poverty line. Vermont, 63,720. Why are so many people living in poverty? I thought the federal government, or I thought the Vice President of the United States, have figured out a way to reduce the poverty levels in the United States, but it doesn't look like the poverty levels have changed much since the past, 8 years. Now, U.S. government collects $3.75 trillion of our tax dollars, yet poverty numbers continue to increase. So, do people pay more in taxes that don't get enough revenue to support their families, to feed their families? But yet, why do they have to pay more? For example, the average payroll tax rate for a household in the lowest income quintile is 6.3%. That's the largest federal tax for households in the lowest income quintile, according to Tax Policy Center. Poor people paying more in taxes, that's not how the game is supposed to work. Tax cuts for the wealthy, but yet poor people have to foot the bill. The number of incarceration in America is astounding because we are only 5% of the world's population, and yet the United States is home to the largest numbers of prisoners worldwide. That's astounding. In addition, government can create series of transforming prison acts to reduce our prison population. Also, if the federal government abolishes the IRS, most Americans can keep their full paycheck and only pay sales taxes on goods and services. Households at or below the poverty line can reduce the amount of expenses that they would have to pay out. And the thing is, the poverty level has doubled, and the rate of violent crimes has doubled as much as the poverty rate. You have more poverty means more crimes. That's common sense. So far, no incumbent president is serious about finding alternatives to high taxes the average Americans are paying. when you reduce the taxes, you would probably see less crime, more than likely. I just don't see our votes making a difference, really. I mean, this goes on all the time, every day, month, year. Also, the United States is underfunding its K-12 public schools by nearly 150 billion annually, according to Century Foundation. What's more is the healthcare crisis in America to the Congressional Budget Office projections of health insurance coverage is 26 million are still uninsured. The United States spends about 61 billion on foreign aid while 26 million Americans are uninsured. Why? Not only, but also half a million Americans are living below the poverty line. Israel has received 310 billion in total economic and military assistance with free health care. Israel's 9 public universities are subsidized by the government, while student loan debt totals 1.75 trillion and is held by about 42.8 million Americans. What's going on here? I mean, does our vote really matter? So I question, does our votes actually make a difference? In 2022, the U.S. spent over 70 billion in foreign and aid to nearly 200 countries, territories, and geographic regions, according to usafacts.org. The next time you consider on voting, make sure you hold your public officials accountable. If they make a promise, hold them to account to that promise. This is astounding. These numbers, they fluctuate, but they always tend to increase. I mean, is it all scripted? Are we living in a very delusional society that we're being helped by our public officials? The poverty level is too high. The crime rate is too high. And yet we give foreign aid to all these other countries. We have crumbling schools. What's going on here? We tend to have more money for war and to build prisons than we do for teachers in their classrooms and to make education a priority. The loan debt is insurmountable. We're sending too much of our tax-paying dollars to over 200 countries when our system in America is broken. So I question, does our vote really matter? I mean, do y'all think we're stupid to vote for a candidate that we don't feel that is in support of our interests? I mean, this is every 4 to 8 years. I mean, we pick a new president, but yet nothing changes. I mean, yeah, you throw money at the problem. We want the federal government to do more than just throw money at the problem. We want them to fix the problem and make America great again. Not certain individuals great again. Make America as a whole great again. And how are y'all going to do that? Well, we can pay less in taxes. We can stop funding all these wars in all these other countries. We can take the vast majority of our foreign aid money and build America back to its greatness. That's what we can do, and more. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel.